Yes, my name is Brendon. Well, I'm a firearms trainer just because I'm an immigrant in America. I came here in 2014 and I come from the Philippines. Now the Philippines, guns are a little harder to get, so only the people with power would usually get guns. And so when I got here, realizing that a regular citizen is able to acquire firearms to defend themselves actually led me to being a firearms instructor. After being in the Marine Corps for 4 years, I transitioned to firearms instructing. Again, this is my new passion now. I like teaching people, right? And then I kind of give them the perspective of like, hey, appreciate what you got here, even if it's California, just because in the Philippines and literally the rest of the world, you're unable to exercise the rights that we have here, like free speech, right? The right to have guns I appreciate that a lot, because having power typically kind of protects the rest of your rights. So yeah, that's my passion, teaching people how to defend themselves. Creating gun owners, not people with guns. Well, my greatest inspiration is my dad. He was a bum or a hobo when he first started, like when he was like around 17, he was abandoned by his parents. And so he was a janitor at a university, and he went up and got his GED in the Philippines, and from being a janitor in like 9 years being a lawyer and eventually establishing his own business. That's my inspiration right there. He fortunately passed like a couple of years ago, but a lot of his advice about no matter what happens in life, that there's always a way to do something, right? I guess he led me, before he died, he led me to this book called Poor Dad, Rich Dad. And the biggest quote I'm taking away from that is that there's a very big difference between being broke and poor, because being poor is a mindset, and that's my biggest inspiration right there. That's why I'm just getting out of being so much of an employee and getting to contracting, because I like to control my time. I like to make my work value to me more. A typical day for me, it usually is waking up early, around 6 in the morning. Not as crazy as Ernie, right? But I do typically start it with like a little run. Again, not as far as he runs, usually 1.5 miles, 2 miles. And I usually hit the gym. Well, right now, a little crazy. But usually hit the gym. And then after that, I usually do my stuff with the Marine Corps as of right now. And then I do some contacting with my clients. And then after that, I train. That's it. Every day consists of me training myself, because I feel like I owe that to a lot of my clients. That's typically my day. It's usually working out, doing some stuff for my clients, training myself, and if I have clients that day, usually training them. I do them all. I do private trading as well. I do CCW classes. I do advanced CCW classes, handgun workshop, integrated defensive handgun, the rifle workshops, and rifle classes as well. I help Ernie develop classes. We have a lot of common experience from the Marine Corps, and I'm taking a lot of classes here. And then I draw a lot from the classes of other instructors as well as civilian world. That's why I typically teach most classes, only because I typically develop the classes for the company, or help develop it primarily. My favorite is rifle. All right, so a lot of people don't realize that if you have an AR-15, that's actually a more effective tool in home defense. Now, people in our rifle class, they usually come in and I'm like, hey, what defensive round do you have in your rifle? And they're like, oh, this. And it's a regular green tip penetrator round. And I'm like, well, that works for the military, that doesn't work for you, right? What they don't realize is a 9mm hollow point round penetrates more than a 223 55 grain round. Now what does that mean? That means a rifle, an AR-15, what everybody's scared of nowadays, penetrates less than a 9mm round from a pistol at the distances we want it. So I like the rifle class. It kind of opens up a lot of the mind. It kind of breaks down like, oh wait, this rifle is actually not that scary, right? It's not actually a military weapon. It's actually something that you can do for defense, right? So that's my favorite class to teach, usually the basic rifle. A lot, and I mean a lot, especially in 2020, a lot of them bought rifles nowadays, and seeing them grow from, oh, there's this scary rifle that I bought from a gun store that I just lock up, and coming out to our class and picking it up and then running with it, and now realizing like, wait, this is more effective than my pistol, that's the best. Like any instructor would say today, growth of your student is usually your biggest win. And I usually have one of my biggest wins in rifle classes, because again, they realize that, like, wait, it's not a scare rifle, it's a tool, right? It's a tool that I actually use, and it's more effective and it's easier to shoot. Well, for me, part of a team is pretty much mutual respect and mutual effort, right? A team is only as strong as its weakest part, and that's why I'm a proponent of having standards, right? My team right now, which Ernie assigned me, I set forth standards on them so that they're able to be on the same level, right? Obviously, there are definitely people that put in more, put in less, but there has to be standards. Being part of a team for me is usually mutual effort. Team usually degrades when one is the weakest link, and that's not a fault of their own, that's usually a fault of the team, right? Again, being a team is usually mutual effort, but if one is lagging, that's not his fault, that's your fault, because in my point of view, it's a failure of the leader, a failure of the team. But yeah, being part of the team is making sure that you actually support each other. My biggest goal for 2021 is transitioning out of the Marine Corps and into the civilian world. A little crazy, right? Transitioning in the COVID-19 pandemic world. And it's not that crazy. I was happy that I found TRP almost a year ago now. So that kind of helped me secure my transition into the civilian world. That's pretty much what my goal right now is becoming a civilian again, so to speak. You know, breaking down a lot of the indoctrination, not bad indoctrination, but a lot of the indoctrination that I had. And interacting with a lot of the civilian population when I teach classes usually has helped me out a lot. And, you know, connecting with all these people, and again, like I said, right, connecting with these people, and then, you know, I like to surround myself with good people with good mindset, and that's my biggest goal in 2021 is, you know, transition out of the Marine Corps. My biggest goal and thought is that the firearm is an equalizing gun, right? I'm 5'3", and there's no way I'm gonna be able to take somebody on that's like 6'10". The 9mm or 223 rounds is the exact same round, whether it's coming from a 4'11" woman or a 6'7" dude. And that's why in America we are able to defend ourselves, because we're given the tool. Humanity has always tried to find a tool that will equalize a lot of this stuff. And I think taking away firearms would actually get us back to injustice, because that gives injustice to a lot of the small people or the people that are probably disabled that can't defend themselves. So train hard, train often, right? Train TRV.
Like this video? Be sure to register and sign up for our next CCW class, and we look forward to training with you.